Welcome back to our next exciting episode of Uncivil Discourse, hosted by Lee,
Hey, everybody.
myself, and our guest commentator this year, Laura.
No.
This week's announcement is all about communication, especially with the admin. Please remember that if you're contacting us about any form of rescheduling or inability to show up for a game, you also need to reach out to your opponent. We have Discord, Facebook, or via telephone if you can ask the admin to find out if you can have the number. We don't just dox people and give out their phone numbers. The rescheduling admin will help you set up the time and location to play, but you're responsible for contacting your opponent and to keep in touch with the admin so we know what's going on.
This also goes into any kind of skill spends or other questions. Just follow the proper process when you are reaching out and doing any kind of communication. Speaking of skill spends, before I get into them this week, I wanted to take a moment and thank roughly 17 people who followed the requested format when submitting skill spends. It makes it a lot easier to accurately and verify that your skill spend is valid or not, to make sure that you haven't spent 2 skills already on a mech or 3 skills already, that it doesn't have anything contesting or making it invalid. So we do have the format that has the 8 weeks laid out. Please continue to follow those for the people that are, and if you're not, please start.
I think I'm guilty of this. How are you, Laura?
Both guilty of it. Laura has done it sometimes in the past, but most of the time, you both are just like, skill spend this, then.
No. It has my team name. It tells you what mech I want to do. It tells you how many points I have banked, what new ones I've gained, what mech I'm buying the skills for, and then my remainder after when I'm all said and done. I even do the math for you. But I will do a better job of making sure that I follow the format that you send it back to me in.
Yeah, it just makes it easier to keep track when
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, here's the
Totally
8 weeks.
agree with you.
And moving on to the spends this week, let's break them down for our followers. Wendigo's Night Stalkers, the Xanathos, picks up piloting.
Laser Force, the Marauder, picks up gunnery.
Thumper's Revenge, their catapult picks up mobile fire.
The Black Wake, unfortunately missed Kid off.
The Collection Agency, his Highlander takes gunnery.
Lights Out, their King Crab grabs Determination.
Didn't see that one coming. The Neutral Reavers, the Tomahawk, picks up Zeldjabrin, and the Dragonfly picks up Courage.
Anskar's Outlaws, his Archer takes Lethargic.
Ward's Warwolves, the Marauder, takes Gunnery.
Ghost Legion Wolverine picks up Melee Expert.
The Blitzkrieg Jezebels, her Hatamoto takes Mobile Fire.
Odin's Chosen, with a whole bunch of banked points, picked up Chassis Upgrade for their Axeman to move it into a Marauder 5S. Puts Mobile Fire on the Lance's Marauder 2, and Point Blank on the Warhammer.
Wolfpack, the Centurion, picks up Gunnery for that Rat 5.
Warthog's Revenge, his Thug takes Anticipation.
Paxton's Pathfinders, Phoenix Hawk, Melee Expert.
Clan Cobra Chicken, the Tempest, picks up Gunnery.
House Psychotic Weasel, his Grand Titan, also takes gunnery.
The First Alliance Grenadiers, their Fafnir takes Veteran to get Danger Zone. And the Sentinel picks up Courage.
Lyran Rangers, the Champion, picks up the faction skill Recoil Control.
Hank's Handies, his Banshee takes gunnery. His Wolverine, Clan Salvages, the large pulse laser.
The Red Suns Irregulars intentionally banked this week. And the Ice Creamers Marauder 2 will pick up Target Lock.
The Elk Riders banked, as we didn't get an email from them. Dead Man's Hand, the Banshee, takes Target Lock.
The 4th Taurian Protectorate, the Marauder, takes Clan Salvage, clanning the XL engine. And with the leftover, he gets case 2.
The Scions of Amaris, the Hunchback, picks up target lock.
8 medium lasers with target lock. That's going to be so ugly. The Steel Shot Shambles, the Devastator, takes Veteran for failsafe.
The League of Robots banked, and so did Risten's Rogues.
Cat's Nightingale Cavalry, the Blood Ash, picks up accuracy.
The Neon Grizzlies, the Kodiak, takes Veteran so they can have combat wisdom.
And Yogi's Jaggers take their Hellbringer gets Zelbriggen, and their Elementals take Cram.
Hooray for skill spins!
Woohoo! And you wonder if the people that banked have something up their sleeve.
Well, some of those expensive skills cost more. So like Gunnery is a 6-point skill. You can't buy that on 1 week.
Nope. You know what I did notice though? Every clanner, their assault that got head capped, bought combat wisdom.
Like when they spend half of their points on a single mech, that should be their first skill spin, not after it gets head capped.
After, right? Neutral Reavers, Yogi's Jaegers, and now the Neon Grizzlies all picked up that cockpit saving skill.
Meet. Alright, let's take a look at the match summary from our prior week. This should be pretty quick here for us, as a bunch of the games were all very straightforward. Game number 1, the Neon Grizzlies played against the Red Suns Irregulars in Arena 9, the Gravel Experience. It hosted this matchup, ending in a 4-2 win for the Red Suns Irregulars.
Game number 2, Hank's Handies take on the Wolfpack this week. Arena 4, the Outlaws Ranch. This is where this showdown at high noon happened. I thought they started at 10:30. Whatever. You get the point. This was a handy-dandy victory, 4-1.
Game number 3 saw the Dead Man's Hands going up against the League of Robots. They did it in Arena 3, the Alien World. The card-playing Dead Man's flopped down a victory of 4-2.
Revenge. Oh, it was had this week. Our second ever game between myself and Jared, and last year he whooped me with his Clanders. Now, while my dice were not hot this week, they were super hot. My 2-hit dice were just a little bit better than average, but my hit locations and crit rolls were insane. Jared lost his Highlander to 8 pilot hits in a single round. He took 2 pellets to the dome, and then 3 to the open left torso, and when I rolled for criticals, I rolled 6 total number of criticals, hitting 3 more ammo bins, melting the pilot's brain with 6 pilot hits. It was a fantastic game, and I look forward to playing Jared again, maybe in the playoffs for the A-side.
There was a lot of upsets this week, but we'll get to those. Warthog's Revenge versus the Scions of Amaris. They got together in Arena 32, the downtown business district. This is where this match was played out, and the Warthogs goring the champions to a 4-3 win.
Woohoo! Game number 5, we have Ward's Warwolves up against the Wendigo Night Stalkers. In Arena number 22, the Grasslands, this field matches up with the Warwolves, putting the Wendigos to bed in a 4-3 win.
Game number 6, the 4th Taurian Protectorate go up against Yogi's Jaegers. Arena 2, the Deathly Desert, has some dancing and some prancing as this game ends in a 2-2 tie.
Game number 7, Laser Force versus the Neutral Reavers. In Arena 14, our Desert Oasis, is where this match was seen. Lots of fire back and forth. This fight ends in a 4-2 Reaver victory.
Game number 8, the Blitzkrieg Jezebels versus Cat's Cavalry, played out on Arena 7, the Mountain Lakes. This game ended in a 1-0 Blitzkrieg Jezebels victory.
I'm actually a bit disappointed in that game.
Oh, why?
Honest to God, sorry Heather, but I actually thought Matt would win. But I'm disappointed she only got 1 kill. She's got a better lance than that.
She did a lot of being very careful and a lot of maneuvering.
Yeah, sounds like she's a little bit intimidated by those itty-bitty elementals.
Well, a game that ends 1-0 between a clan player and a non-clan player, that's definitely a game that was played very, very cautiously.
Yep. Game number 9, Lights Out versus the Psychotic Weasels. On arena number 1, the Grasslands has these two titans going at it. The match ends in a 2-0 Psychotic Weasel win.
Game number 10, the First Alliance Grenadiers versus the Ice Creamers. Arena 16, the Lakes and Streams. The water didn't stop the Grenadiers from bringing home a 4-2 win as the ice cream melted all over.
He's going to just beat this ice cream thing over and over and over again until the end of the season.
Hey, he put it in my hand. It's not my fault.
Game number 11, we have the Elk Riders up against the Clan Cobra Chickens. Due to some unforeseen situations, the Elk Riders ended up winning this 2-0 in a bye win.
Game number 12, the Steel Shod Shambles versus the Paxton Pathfinders. Arena 12, the Rolling Hills. They're a bad place to be a bunch of equine adventurers. Paxton takes the path to the top with a 4-1 victory.
Game number 13, the Collection Agency was up against Thumper's Revenge in the Savannah Arena number 21. The agency collects the first loss this season from the Thumpers with a 2-1 final score.
Game number 13, the Collection Agency goes up against myself, Thumper's Revenge, in Savannah Arena 21. Unfortunately for me, the agency collects my first loss with a 2-1 victory.
Hooray! Not that you lost, but that you didn't get another tie game.
I said that when it happened, and she gave me dirty looks.
She's giving us dirty looks right now.
You know.
Yeah? Not that I wouldn't. 4 tie games in a row, I think, is just pushing my luck.
Yeah, you got to save some for back half.
Right? Actually, I had a fun game with Cal. That map had a bit too many hills for my lance at the moment, and he just outgunned me.
Didn't
His
you
dice.
melt a pilot at one point too?
I did. But I lost a mech in the same round, so it's not as if I was up any.
Tit for tat, trade for this.
Yeah.
Game number 14, Riston's Rogues up against the Ansgar's Outlaws. Map 23, the Kozike Valley, has the Rogues putting up with no crap from the Outlaws. 3-0 Rogues win. Kind of looking like the Rogues are putting their foot back on the gas pedal now.
The horseshoe fell out. Game 15, the Ghost Legion versus the Blackwake. In Arena 13, the Unending Hills have a C3 showdown. My Draconis Combine C3 versus his Comstar C3I. The Ghost Legion pulls a victory out of defeat with a final score of 4-2. Now, Devin definitely outplayed me in this game. Early on, his little guy pops over, hits my gunslinger with an ECM pod, and it's no more network for me all day long. Those INARC pods are awesome, and he hit me on something like an 11, and then he just buggered off. He was like, yep, nope, not sticking around here, going back to where the fight is over on the other side of the map. Unfortunately for him, the following round or the round after that, I got a lucky shot from the gunslinger. For the first time I was shooting at his Zeus, popped a Gauss rifle through the head, hitting on something like a 10 or 11, and then took the head off. From there, it was all kind of downhill, and it slid down into my way, but super good game. He definitely played better. He just could not come back from that early loss of an assault mech, and luck was on my side. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Game number 16, Odin's Chosen versus the Lyran Rangers. Unfortunately, another game that ends up having a bye win. The Ranger stable manager had some water problems, and Odin's Chosen gets the bye win of 2-0.
Now we have Heather doing an interview with one of our other new players this season, our third Chris. I guess next season we're going to have to pick up another new one.
Welcome back to another Battle Babes interview. My name is Heather, Battle Babe 1. No Battle Babe 2 again here, but I do have Chris. How are you doing today, Chris?
I'm doing okay.
That's good. The dreary weather doesn't have you too down?
No, I was kind of falling asleep during my game, but that was about it. Cold makes me fall asleep.
Yes, it's one of those things. Wrap up in a blanket and stay warm, and normally that includes sleeping. So, So, you played your game today. It's actually your game 5 against Matt, Cat's Cavalry.
Yep.
And how did your game go today?
I got my ass handed to me again. I did try to put up a fight, though.
Hey, that's the important thing. As long as you don't lay back and just say whatever, and you try, that's the only way to get better at this game.
Yep.
And so what was the final score for the game?
It was 2-0.
Okay.
I did technically got one of his guys out of the game, but it wasn't dead at the end, so...
Oh, so it wasn't quite considered a down,
No.
like a mech for a point. Dang, that always sucks.
He was down on the ground, but he could still fire, but he was in a ravine, so he wasn't a threat anymore.
Got you. I literally played him yesterday, and his Fenris, if we'd had a couple more rounds, it would have been dead. I won 1-0, but I was like, man, come on, this should count, but it didn't.
Yeah, I think it was his ice ferret that got downed, but not killed.
Yeah, that's the Fenris.
Yeah, and then his the bigger one that he has, forget the name of it, the asp or something.
Blood Asp.
Yeah, that one. That one got was getting pretty close there. It was on the ground, but didn't get killed. So.
Oh yeah, that's always you're looking at the pips and you're like, really.
Yeah.
I just needed to do like 10 more damage and he would have been dead. Or
Yeah.
you splatter the mech and the damage is everywhere, but nothing's concentrated.
If we went one more turn, my blackjack would have been down too.
So it was a good thing you guys were done when you were done.
Yeah. Otherwise, it would have been 3 to maybe 1 if I was lucky.
Well, there you go. So 2-0 is better than 3-0.
Yep.
There you go. So how long have you been playing Battletech?
Just this league, so this year.
This year? Okay.
The only other time I played was not at the last gaming convention, but the one before that. That was in Calgary.
Oh, GameCon last year.
Yeah, the GameCon last. So that was just in the the grinder.
Mm-hmm.
So did better in that one though, but it was against other people that haven't played really.
Yeah, it was a good introduction to people who like gaming and had never really heard of Battletech or done much about Battletech. It's kind of cool. I like to hear that it brought us some players.
Mm-hmm.
So you were down at GameCon talking about that. What other kind of games do you play, if you play any?
For board games?
Yeah.
Or tabletop games? Warhammer, but I haven't played that in quite some time. Not that I'm not interested in it, I just haven't gotten around to playing in it quite some time. So the only other game that I've played recently is Mordheim.
Oh, what is that?
Well, it's made by the Warhammer company when it was Games Workshop still.
Okay.
So it's set in their fantasy world. Mordheim is a city that a meteor and there's some sort of calamity meteor hit it, dropping a bunch of warpstone, essentially fantasy plutonium that allows you to do a lot of magical things, but it poisons everything.
Oh.
So everybody's trying to get into Mordheim to get that and get out of there because it's very valuable.
Okay, interesting. And it's like a tabletop game like Warhammer, or?
It's a skirmish game, small war band. So between 5 and I think the current one I have can only be 15 members in that war band.
Oh wow,
Not a hell of a lot, but it moves fast.
that sounds kind of interesting. That would maybe be something Lee would like. I've only just since Lee and I got together, it's when my experience with tabletopping really increased. I hadn't played any D&D or any of that beforehand.
It's definitely the fantasy Warhammer. So there's goblins, there's orcs and all that kind of stuff.
That's cool. So what else other than gaming? What other kinds of things do you like to do?
Besides that, it's video games. I collect a lot of movies. I just started for video games. I just picked up Foreverwinter. Not sure if you've seen anything of that.
No, is that a PC game or is it a console game?
It's PC. Yeah, it's a PC game.
Okay.
It's kind of like a futuristic war zone game. You're not a hero or anything. You're more of a background character just trying to not get killed by everything else, because everything is much bigger than you. You're just a little guy fighting against big, scary robots and a lot of more advanced things. You're not exactly fighting, you're trying to hide from them more than anything. You only fight them if you absolutely have to.
Oh, okay. So you're more just trying to survive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a kind of a horror game.
Oh, okay. That might make it impossible for me.
It's not scary monsters, but the robots will definitely, some of them are pretty freaky looking. Like I got chased down by one the other day that I just saw this thing. It's like, what the hell is that? Did they put a xenomorph in here? It's like this 20 feet tall thing that has a head kind of like the queen alien. And then I wasn't sure if it was actually a thing, and then it started to moving, and then the music changed and it started running at me. And I said, oh shit, and ran the other direction.
Well, that's what I would do too.
Well, yeah, it's a 20-foot monster.
Yeah. Just circling back to Battletech. So you're saying this is the first year that you've played. What do you think of it so far? Like, what are the things that you like or dislike?
Well, I like the lore and everything. I need to get better at the rules and everything, like just memorizing things. I finally got it down to sort of memorizing how movement affects your shooting phase. Still trying to learn or memorize how far everything is for that kind of stuff to move. The shooting phase is definitely after movement. Yeah, that's more of the math part. Gets a little bit tricky.
Well, and being able to play some games outside of League, even not using some of those specific League rules, can definitely be helpful. I've only played before this rendition of League started. I'd only played in 1 year of League that was run by Bruce. I think playing the outside games, those were definitely beneficial because that's where I got used to the math and the movement. I didn't have to worry about some of those little finer details that come specifically with League. Super helpful. And I know a lot of the guys in League are always looking to plan games. And I know there's a drop-in Battletech game on Tuesday nights at the Den. I think that's what it is.
I know there's one at Entry Box too on Thursday.
I'm pretty sure it's Tuesdays. That'd be a question for Brett or Jeff Painter.
Okay, that's good to know.
It's really just like anything. More exposure, having other people who've gone through it, their tips and tricks.
Yep, that would definitely help.
Yeah. Which of your mechs in your Lance is your favorite and why?
My Highlander.
Okay.
I'm not sure why, other than it's Scottish, but that's about it.
Okay. And if you were to think of...
It hasn't gone down once, even though it's been shot in the back quite a few times.
Yeah, getting shot in the back is never nice.
Yeah, but it's got plenty of internal stuff too, so it doesn't go down very easily.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Thinking outside your Lance, any of the mechs that you know about, is there any that is your absolute favorite or you'd love to play with sometime?
The Timberwolf.
Okay. Okay, why is that?
Just because that's kind of the one that I was first introduced to, really, other than in the cartoon, which I didn't put two and two together with the old Battletech cartoon and Mech Warrior back then.
Okay, so yeah, you've had knowledge of Battletech for a while, maybe not in a traditional sense of playing it, but you've had some exposure through like the cartoon or game, the online game and stuff. Okay.
When I was a little kid, there's plenty of cartoons on, and that was one of the ones I watched.
It sounds like a lot of the guys in League. I'd never even heard of the cartoon. The closest it would have been like Transformers.
Well, you can try to watch it on YouTube.
I might have to.
Yeah, it's cheesy, but it's fun. Kind of sucked how it ends, though.
Well, what 80s or 90s cartoons weren't cheesy?
It's kind of hard to figure out which ones that weren't, because they were all, unless they were anime, they were aimed towards kids.
Exactly. Thank you for popping on and chatting with me, and hopefully see you in a week. If not, we will see you in the next round.
Yeah, thanks. See you in a week.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Bye.
Bye.
Well, Heather, thank you so much for that interview. It's getting to be very interesting how we're getting to meet the new players. This will lead us into our week 5 matches. Game number 1, we have Cats Nightingale Cavalry with 1 win, 3 losses, 0 ties, up against the Elk Riders. 1 win that was a bye, 2 losses, and 1 tie. Well, the way the season's going, I'm thinking these two teams aren't having the best luck. Cats just lost to Heather's team in a really disappointing 1-0 loss. Elk Riders really haven't been able to get their feet under them. They got a tie, a couple of losses, and they just recently got that bye win. I still think Cats Cavalry is going to win because of experience. He's not having any luck, but he definitely has the experience. I think it's going to be a 3-1.
Okay, so Cats beat me, so that's their 1 win. And I've been having a fairly downhill slide for most of my season this year. It's been up and down. I was really surprised by the Blood Asp going 4-6-4, and I was just not able to kill that Rifleman 2C that he's got. I think he's probably got the better grasp of things as a returning player up against a new player. But I think this is probably going to be a 2-1 Nightingale Cavalry victory. Actually, no. We're going to change that. I'm going to do a 3-2 Cavalry victory. He's been having some issues getting stuff lost without coming back from it.
Well, unfortunately, the Elk Riders last week didn't have a game. And I played them the week before. It's one of his 2 ties. He's a new player, but he is starting to understand the league rules. They're a little bit hard to pick up when you first start. And Matt, unfortunately, is a returning player. So he's already had a year to figure everything out. Cats is the stronger lance out of the 2. So I'm going to say Cavalry's going to win. I think it'll be a 3-0.
Game number 2, we have the League of Robots with 1 win, 3 losses, and 0 ties, versus Warthog's Revenge with 3 wins, 1 loss, and 0 ties. Brandon's just been ripping it up this season, and truthfully speaking, we don't give the kid enough credit. He is a stronger player. He's just had some seasons where he hasn't performed it like he should be. And then Jared seems to have just been running into all kinds of bad luck. I definitely want to go with Warthog's Revenge in this one, but I think it might be a moderately scoring game. I think we're going to go with another 3-2. 3 for Warthogs, 2 for League of Robots.
I have to agree. Jared's lance is not performing to probably the best of his ability, but to his expectation. I haven't faced the Warthogs yet. I don't think I want to face the Warthogs this season. I think Warthogs are going to take it. I'm going to give them a little bit more credit. I think it'll be 4-2.
I just played the League of Robots, and I really enjoyed his lance. It's good. It's quite strong. It's very much a in-your-face lance with a couple of support mechs with precision ammunition to help deal with any fast flankers. He just didn't have any luck against me, or rather, I had good luck against him. Warthog's Revenge, Brandon has been good for... He was good last year. He whooped my butt. He was good the year before. He just hasn't been able to get into the finals championship rounds. I think he's definitely A-side this year. He's got a good lance, great, fantastic grasp on it, good skill purchases so far. I think Warthog Revenge is going to win because I think he's going to be upper A-side. It's going to be a 4-2-2. I agree with you, Laura.
Cool, this time I'm not the copycat. Game number 3, the Lyran Rangers, with 0 wins, 3 losses, and 1 tie, are going up against the Dead Man's Hand with 2 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie.
Go, Carlo, go.
I know, poor Carlo. Well, yeah, poor Carlo.
Lee likes to give it up for newer type players or players that
No,
are down on
first
their
game
rock
of the
clock.
year. First game of the year. That's it. After that,
He
you guys
doesn't-
are on your own.
Yeah, get 1 game out of the belt and then I'll just take you to task.
Exactly.
Except you do have a loss and a tie, so you're not exactly tasking.
I
too
tied
many.
it. Hey, I tied the reigning champion, and the first one to do so. I think that was a
Yeah, but
pretty
somebody
good
else beat him.
feather in my hat. Yeah, that was last week.
Oh,
Like this
wait, and I'm
past
pretty
game.
sure Chris C has beaten you in the past.
What's that got to do with anything?
He's the one that beat Jeff.
I know. I'm just saying. I was quite happy to have at least tied the reigning champion for Rangers. Ah, he's got a great lance.
He does.
So, Laura, who do you think's going to win?
Who do I think or who do I know?
Or who do you want?
Who do you know? The game hasn't been played yet. Money has not crossed hands yet.
I like cheering for the underdogs, so I actually hope the Lyran Rangers can get a win.
The betrayal again. I think you did this to me last week.
Yes, possibly. But Lyran Rangers, I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think 2-1.
I am totally throwing Lee under the bus. Lyran Rangers has a bunch of like heavy gauze rifles and skills to make them go kaboom and be good. I think this is going to be Carlo's first win this season in a 4-1 victory.
This is the way we're going to talk to each other, right? The way we're going to play this game.
Last week was all upsets. There has been some
Yeah.
really funky dice rolling stuff.
You
And
can't
Carlo
say your
has-
predictions based off of what happened last week.
Oh, no. Carlo is due for a win, and he has the lance that if he's going to get it, it's going to be a big win.
Yeah, you can say what you like. Say what you like. My Banshee has absolutely skyrocketed. Out of my 12 kills, it has 8 of them.
It's a banshee.
And I just put target lock on it. So it's just going to get uglier. I know.
Carlo? Heavy
yeah.
gauze rifles into the
Yeah.
banshee.
Yes, kill the Banshee. I'm going to win this. I'm going to win. It's going to be a high-scoring game, though. I think that heavy gauze rifle is going to make me pay to win. I think it's going to be 4-3 for me. It's going to be down to the last couple of mechs.
And I mean, you're doing so much better with actually keeping the banshee this year.
Yeah. It's all season. I like it. Game number 4, we have the Neon Grizzlies with 1 win, 2 losses, and a tie. They're up against the Wolfpack. 1 win, 2 losses, and a tie. Well, we're back to these matching scores again. Neon Grizzlies have like good lance. Don't understand why they're not winning. And the Wolfpack's a solid team this year. Their record is definitely not showing their potential, but actually both these teams are having that problem. I am going to call for the Neon Grizzlies. I think he's ready to get back on the right track, and that Kodiak is a mean mech. So I'm going to give it to them, and I'm going to say it's going to be a 4-2. Well, like Aaron said last week. Oh, just wait. I have to put this in. I promised Aaron I'd say it. It was a close. It's going to be a close 4-2. Real close.
Well, that Kodiak is scary, but it's no Grumpy Bear. Grumpy Bear by this time had racked up the kills and still hadn't been killed itself. So we'll see how things go out. I'm actually going to call this a 2-2 tie, as both of these teams put another one in the tie bracket.
I can't believe how many ties in general we've had this season.
It's been crazy.
I'm not calling for another one. Unfortunately for Alex, I think the Neon Grizzlies are going to win this one. I'll give the kid some credit. 4-3.
Game number 5, Scions of Omaris with 2 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie, versus the 4th Taurian Protectorate. 0 wins, 2 losses, and 2 ties. I think this is going to be a Scions win. I think they're going to just come down and be like, wait, we tied a game and then we lost a game? We actually have to play. So they're going to come out swinging. I think it's going to be probably a 4-1 victory for them. No holding back.
Violent. The Scions of Mars have sputtered out their past 2 games with a tie to me and a loss right afterwards. I think the 4th Taurian Protectorate just haven't hit their stride. They've got a good lance, they got a good team, an experienced commander. I'd almost call this a tie, but I don't think Jeff has 2 ties in him. I'm going to give it the 4th Taurian Protectorate, and it's going to be a 3-2.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, we're almost on polar opposites.
Oh, I know. This one is actually a tough match, because you're right. Like, Jeff's last 2 games just weren't wins.
He's got a great lance, but it's way outside his normal playstyle.
Yeah. Well, I heard his dice wasn't so hot either, which happens. It's a dice game. But I think the 4th Taurian's going to get their first win for this season. Go Underdogs. I have to agree with Lee. I think it'll be a 3-2. Game number 6, we have the Ghost Legion, 2 wins, 2 losses, and 0 ties, going up against Ansgar's Outlaws with 1 win, 2 losses, and 1 tie. Well, I suppose I have to
look,
vote.
a bus.
No. No, actually. I was going to say I think you're going to win. Because, I don't know, you take it easy on too many people and then you just get challenged because they think you're a wuss.
I'll also be rested for this match.
Well, yeah, but I think you're going to put on your big boy pants and you're just going to pull out more wins. So I think the Ghost Legion's going to win, but I think it's going to be a 4-3.
Okay, so I built a melee-centric C3 network this year. I figure I might as well lean right into it, and I picked up Melee Expert on my Wolverine, so assuming the Wolverine doesn't die in the first couple of rounds, again, I've been, both of my games that I've lost, the Wolverine's been out by like round 4 or round 5. It will carry the team, it will definitely come in, and the Wolverine's going to get at least 2 kills, but I'm going to go with a 4-2 victory over the Outlaws this week.
I think a close-up fight with the clans might not be the best idea. At least this clan. Archer with 4 heavy medium lasers and 2 streak 15s really does want you to get up close. The Jupiter doesn't get nicer as you get closer to it. The Shadowcat has some good weaponry, and with a couple of ECMs in the 2 mechs, your C3 system's going to go out the window. And his elementals will be more than willing to play footsies with you. Ansgar's Outlaws just has not been having the best season. Like, just kind of mediocre, just kind of there. You're 50-50, 2 wins, 2 losses. I'm going to give it to you, Brett, because you're pretty dedicated to this, thug mentality, and I really do like it. I'm going to give it to you as a 3-1.
When I lose at least 2.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes even when you win, well, I just know that
when I win, I lose 2.
Yeah. But I think in this one, you know how to defeat elementals, so you might just take them out on your way in to play footsies.
Yeah, a Wolverine with a bunch of pulse lasers and a kick that'll kill one every time with a bonus to kick.
Yep. Game number 7. We have the Red Suns Irregulars. 3 wins, 1 loss, 0 ties. They're up against the clan Cobra Chicken. 0 wins, 3 losses, 1 tie. Well, Red Suns Irregulars, Gary's one of my favorites. John with the clan Cobra Chickens are a fun team to play against, but he's not having any luck this season. Just none again. I think he's going to have to show some really good tactics. I think his skill spends are really smart this year, so that's good. And his mechs are a little bit more durable than the clanners he had last year. It's going to be close, maybe even a tie, but I'm probably going to say Red Suns Irregulars 3-2. Just the way the season's been going.
Okay. I think this game is going to cement the Red Suns in A side for the reshuffle. And they're going to just come in and hammer down with a 4-1 victory here for the Red Suns Irregulars. As you said, Cobra Chickens haven't been having the greatest season, but the Red Suns have been. With 3 wins, they're definitely on the upswing, and they want to try and show everything they can before the reshuffle.
I know Gary wants to run for A-side champion, right? He's been right in there. He's been the B-side champion. He's just get in there and finish that last step.
Yeah, no, he came out absolutely strong this year, so I definitely agree with both of you. It will be the Red Suns Irregulars. I think it will be a 4-2.
Game number 8. House Psychotic Weasel with 2 victories, 1 loss, 1 tie versus Riston's Rogues with 3 victories, 1 loss, 0 ties. This could be another upset game. We've seen a bunch of upsets this year. This could be another one where Jeff sits down and it's just sort of like, hey Chris, let's have a good game. And they're going and they're playing, and then all of a sudden Jeff loses a mech. And then House Psychotic Weasels is on a roll. I think that could happen, but I think Jeff is also strong enough that he can just come back for that. But I think we're going to go with a 3-2 Riston's Rogues victory.
Well, I found out I've been doing something wrong all season. Apparently, Chris asked me to stop worrying about voting for him, win or loss. I actually have it in writing. He's now allowing me to predict that he's going to win. It's against Riston's Rogues, though, one of the top teams and an A-side champion. Right? I think he's put his foot back on the pedal. But I think people are underestimating that Albatross and that Grand Titan as well. People are like, oh yeah, those mechs have never been any good. They just require the usage of your ranges. And Chris is actually comfortable with this lance. He's enjoying it now. It's going to be really close. I actually do believe in the upset. I think House Psychotic Weasel is going to win this, and it's going to be 3-2.
Oh, way to make the vote easy for me. You both vote 1 each. Now I get to split the difference. That's not fair.
Yeah, you do.
We do. We have to do it all the time.
Oh, yeah. You've also been recording for 3 years. I'm new to this.
This is our 4th.
Uh-huh. I think it's going to be Riston's Rogues. I think he's just wants it just a bit more than Chris does. And I hate to agree with Brett. I think it'll be 3-2.
Oh. At least it's people not hating to disagree with me.
You know what we say, if you're right more often, we'll agree with you more often.
Oh.
I'm right more often than you think.
No, you're right more often than I give you credit for.
Okay, that's fair.
Game number 9. Hank's Handies with 3 wins, 1 loss, 0 ties, going up against Laser Force with 2 wins, 1 loss, and 1 tie. This will be a close game. Like, I hate sounding like Lee. Close. Close game.
It's a 4-2 close game.
4-2 close game. No, I actually think Hank's Handy's going to win. And I think it's going to be a 3-2.
I think this is going to be a handyman victory. I think Hank's going to come out and just lay hands down. It is going to be another decently scoring game where there's going to be lots of dead mechs. We're going to see a 4-2 victory, although it could possibly be 4-3. But I definitely think it's going to be a clean sweep of all 4 Laser Force mechs dropping. And Hank's Handies is probably going to lose too.
You guys know I made Aaron eat those words because after his game last week, he walked up to me and said, "But it was a close 4-2." I'm like, "Oh, really? Really?" Now you're using the term because you just have just because you won 4-2 doesn't mean that the remaining 2 mechs weren't all beat up.
That the score is reflective of the condition of the mechs on the table.
Yeah, exactly. When did Hank's Handies start winning? Like that, honestly, like. I could have swore they were in the lower grouping there for a while. Now they're 3-1.
The only person that's beat him is JP.
I know, but it was just his loss to JP made it feel like his season had been going poorly because it was a 4-0 stomping.
You remember Hank's Handies went like 6-0 the last half of last season too, right?
No. It's not the quality of the player. I just didn't think Hank's Handies were doing well. That's all. I just, it's kind of like Carlo last year. It's just like, when the hell did is Carlo ever doing well? Where did he come from? Or Jeff, the first season. Laser Force is doing well, solid. He's probably one of the best new players that have joined League. You know what? I think Hank's Handies are going to win this one. I have to agree with you guys. And I think 4-2, maybe 4. I'll go 4-2. I'd say 4-3, but I think that it's going to be 4-2 with 2 badly beat up mechs walking off the field. Game number 10, we have the Neutral Reavers. That is not 1 win, thank you very much. 3 wins, 1 loss, 0 ties. Haha, nice try. Up against the Odin's Chosen with 1 bye win, 3 losses, 0 ties. Haha, nice try, Brett. I don't read everything you put up.
I actually didn't read that in this time.
Oh, Laura's trying to mess with me?
No, I was typing them in how you told me to.
I do not believe I said 1 win, 3 losses for Neutral Reavers. I can almost guarantee I didn't do that. So, Neutral Reavers going to be the winners of the A side. I can't say differently. And Odin's Chosen, their only win so far this season has been a bye win. They didn't even have to play the game. Doesn't mean they're not a good team, but this is Neutral Reavers. This is JP on a mission. It's going to be a Neutral Reavers win, and it's going to be a 4-1.
Okay, I think Neutral Reavers, now that they've got the more stable Tomahawk that's not just going to lose its head at the first sign of defeat, is definitely going to take a 4-1 victory in this as well.
I can't disagree with you guys this time.
You shouldn't disagree with us at any time.
Well, I've seen your predictions for some past weeks, and I know.
I did really poorly 1 week. Really poorly 1 week.
Yeah, once is all it takes. But I think Neutral Reavers are going to take the win. I want to give Odin's Chosen a little bit more credit. I think it will be a 4-2.
Game number 11, Wendigo's Night Stalkers with 2 victories, 1 loss, 1 tie, versus Lights Out with 0 victories, 4 losses, and 0 ties. Paul's got a good lance, but Paul doesn't have the feel of his lance under him yet. Jay has a really good lance and has been working it hard. I'm going to vote for him again. I like Paul, but Paul does Paul things. And the Wendigo Night Stalkers are going to just run up and punch him in the nose too many times, I think. We're going to go with a Night Stalker 4-2 victory.
This really is like first game of the season vibes, because Paul hasn't played enough games this season for us to really know how his lance is working. He just got that king crab. I watched him play Chris, and he kind of realized partway through that he needs to move the king crab in and get in there and get those autocannon 20s working. Wendigo's Night Stalker is very solid, but I know Paul. I know Paul's going to make this lance work. He likes it. He thinks it's quite good. He has a plan. I'm going to say Lights Out are going to get their first win. Come on, Paul. You got to do it for me, buddy. And it's going to be a 3-2.
I agree with you. I think Paul is finally putting the pieces together. And I really hope he does get the win. Because I'm cheering for the underdog again in this game. I don't think he's going to get 3 of the Wendigos max, though. I think it'll be I don't know. 2-1 just seems too low. I'm not calling a tie. Won't call a tie. No, I think Lights Out's going to get it, and I do agree with Lee. I think it'll be a 3-2. Game number 12. Thumper's Revenge. 0 wins, 1 loss, and 3 ties. Going up against Ward's Warwolf. W's. Really? Ward's Warwolves with 2 wins, 2 losses, and no ties.
Hey, you finally got out of ties.
You have numbers in more than one column.
Yeah. Not the column I wanted it in, but...
Pick up a win this week and you'll have 1 in each.
Right?
1, 1, 3. 1 number in each column.
Mm-hmm. No, I had absolute blast playing against him last season. I don't expect anything less than the riot that it was. And I'm coming at you with heat again, and he knows it. That's all he's been talking about. Oh, you're gonna heat me up. You're gonna heat me up. I'm gonna win. 4-2.
Oh, yeah. Last season it was Inferno SRMs. This season it's plasma rifles. And he has one of the weakest units possible, the elementals. They just melt under those plasma rifles. I think 4-2 is extremely ambitious, Laura. Considering the fact that will, double your number of kills so far this year? Or triple the number of kills you've gotten so far? I think it's going to be a 2-1 for Thumper's Revenge. I have a feeling that that's going to be the way it ends up at. But I do believe you can win this one.
So I know how I want to call this, but I can't look past the fact that Ward's Warwolves has that Direwolf. But which one is it? It is the Direwolf H.
2 heavy large lasers, 2 Gauss rifles, and a targeting computer, I believe.
I think it's 2 large pulse, 2 heavy large.
Okay.
And the Marauder C is susceptible to heat.
Yeah.
The Huntsman bounces around, but...
susceptible to heat as well, though. It's only 585, it's not that fast.
Yeah, I'm going to call this the way I want to call it. This is going to be a Thumper's Revenge 3-1 victory. Probably the Marauder, probably the Direwolf and the Elementals, with the Huntsman bouncing around, playing, please don't touch me, please don't touch me.
Game number 13, we have the Black Wake. 1 win, 3 losses, 0 ties. Against our reigning top of the pile, First Alliance Grenadiers. 4 wins, 0 losses, 0 ties. Andre is taking the league by storm. Just running over people. Like, his kills are almost equal to his deaths. Like, he is just going claws and paws and beating people down and getting wins. The Black Wake, I think they got a good lance. I love their logo, but that doesn't win you games. I think the First Alliance Grenadiers are going to get 5-0, but it's going to be close, like really close. I think it's going to be a 3-2.
So the double improved heavy gauze rifle Fafnir, backed up with a Blackhawk Coup Prime and a Penetrator, is a crap ton of medium pulse lasers. And then he's got the Sentinel, which is mostly a mech you can overlook. Devin and the Black Wake is really solid, but he's built for range and for thugging it out and just taking a pounding and switching back and forth. That's hard to do when your opponent's throwing improved heavy gauze rifles at you. I think this is going to be another First Alliance Grenadiers, but I think it's going to be a 3-2 victory. It's going to be close.
Now I think we're overusing it. I think Aaron got the gist of the close game.
I think this one's actually not going to be reflected in the score, what the mech sheets look like, though.
Oh no, I'm never going to stop digging that one in, Aaron. I told you I was going to bring this up. I told you this is going to become a topic.
I don't disagree. I think the First Alliance Grenadiers will get their 5th win. But I don't think it's going to be that high scoring. I think it's going to be a 3-1.
Game number 14, getting near the end. Yogi's Jaegers with 2 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie, versus the Steel Shod Shamble with 2 wins, 1 of which is a bye, and 2 losses with 0 ties. These teams have a pretty close record here going into game number 5. And it's going to be Clans versus Walking Wall of Steel, as the Steel Shod just sort of shamble across the board and try and lay their licks in. The Yogis have a really good lance that is prepared to just send fire down range. So as much as Steel Shod is having a better season than their score reflects, I think they're going to lose something before they can really get into engagement range. And then it's going to be 3 mechs on 3 mechs with a point of elementals on the field. We're going to see probably a Yogi's Jaegers 3-2 final victory.
Will's lance is solid. And the reason why I beat him, was able to head cap the Daishi. Other than that, I think I would have lost. He's just super accurate. His Hellbringer is not the great shakes, but it's a Hellbringer, it's fast. Steel Shod Shamble brings a solid lance in, like you said, lots of armor. If they can weather the storm or get a map that allows them to close up and not take a lot of damage on the way in, I think Steel Shod Shamble can win. So I'm going to say Steel Shod Shamble wins. It's going to be close, real close, and low scoring. I think it's going to be 2-1.
I think I can actually split the difference with this one. I agree with both boys. I'm going to take Yogi's Jaegers to win, but it'll be a 2-1.
Game number 15. We have the Ice Creamers with 2 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie. They're up against the Blitzkrieg Jezebels. 2 wins, 1 being a bye, 1 loss, and a tie. I just watched Heather's team play probably one of the better defensive games I've seen played. She also hit on numbers that I didn't think were really possible to keep rolling to be able to take that win against Matt. Ice Creamers seem to be like taking their licks and keep coming back. They've played some tough teams already this year, some of the top teams, and came up with a pretty respectable record. I thought Heather was going to lose to Matt. She didn't. I don't think she's going to lose to the Ice Creamers. Blitzkrieg Jezebels. We'll go 4-2. It's a close game.
Lee, the original, it was a close game. I will agree with you on the score, but I believe the winner is going to be reversed. Aaron is going to come out. Aaron is going to rush into Heather and not let Heather just sort of play defensive, play offbeat, he's going to run up and be like, well, I'm at like 1 or 2 hexes. Now what are you going to do?
Hit you with 4 medium pulse lasers, 2 large X pulse, another 2 X pulses, a gauze rifle, and 2 more large X pulses. Being at close range actually benefits Heather. I just think her defensive game was a well-planned out tactic against Matt.
I think Heather's defensive plan is well thought out, but I don't think you're giving Aaron's lance credit enough against hers. I think it might be like the Kryptonite. Wolverine 7K is all close-in pulses. A Blackhawk Coup Prime, again, all in close pulses. And he's got 2 assault mechs, so he doesn't have to respect her defensive skill on the quad. He can just run up and start kicking it.
They got to keep up. 5'8", she doesn't have to stay down. She did a very good job of moving it around against Matt. I just disagree with you, that's all. And we're allowed to disagree.
That's okay.
That's why we have Laura to break ties.
I think
your tie.
No, I'm not bringing Heather down by calling a tie. I think she's going to win this game.
Yeah, exactly the reason why you think he's the Ice Creamer's going to win, Brett, is the reason why I think Heather's going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to go one way or the other.
Yep.
I think it's going to be a 4-3, though. I think he's not going to go down fighting.
Without going down fighting?
He's just going to go down.
He's just... Yeah.
You read into that however you want to read into it. I meant lose.
Game 16. The Paxton's Pathfinders with 3 wins, 1 loss, and 0 ties, going up against the Collection Agency with 2 wins, 1 loss, and a tie. Well, I just played Cal. And I did lose. But Paxton's 3 wins, they must be doing something right.
Paxton's having a record-breaking year for them.
Yeah, like, did they pick all of the horseshoes, like the dice bags? Because obviously his dice don't desert him during their game. I think Paxton's is going to win. Oh, but I think... Close again. I think it'll be a 3-2 Paxton's win.
I am super excited to see the way Chris is playing this season. I'm really excited. I think the first 2 seasons were him finding his feet in League and getting used to using the advanced tech. Al played really well. Real well. And his C3I system is solid. This is going to be a well fought out battle with 2 players that are playing well. I don't think it's going to be close though. The Collection Agency is going to take it, and it's going to be a 4-1.
I'm going to agree with Laura in 100%. I think this is going to be a Paxton's Pathfinders 3-2 victory.
Summary and closing.
Ooh, official.
After week 5, we will be doing the reshuffle of the top 16 and the bottom 16 teams to have them play within the win-loss record of their 15 peers. This allows the top players to compete with teams who have also had a really successful first 5 games, but allows the not-so-lucky players to play against teams that were equally luck-challenged. We will be putting up the new schedule for the last 5 games. That will be up probably if all games get done on Sunday. I'll probably be able to get the reschedule up Sunday night, so everybody knows who the next 5 games are early.
And just a reminder to everyone, this weekend we're having a potluck. Finger food, favorite snacks, small stuff. Not so much sugar.
And we have lots of cutlery and cups and knives and forks and plates already there, so don't bring any of that.
Yeah, we just food. Or drinks.
All right, and that's pretty much going to be a wrap for us this week. I had something earlier, but it slipped my mind. So with that, thank you everybody, and have a wonderful evening.
See you guys in a couple of days.
Bye.